Oh boy, where should I even begin with this one? Crunchyroll released a trailer for the new anime series called X-Arm. This is supposed to be a Crunchyroll original and it's not looking good, guys. It's really not looking good. To be honest, this new series X-Arm is pretty new for me. I actually didn't know much about it, but still I gave the trailer a chance and I really have a lot to talk about. So hello and welcome to Under YZ. My name is Soham and today we are going to talk about the new upcoming Crunchyroll original series X-Arm. And is this going to be a new dumpster fire? Let's talk about this. But before that, if you are new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel since I do weekly anime and manga related content. Also, we're trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. So a like and sub would be massively appreciated. Now on to the video. So the trailer for this new anime series just launched today and I really have a lot to talk about. This is a Crunchyroll original featuring a 3D animation. That's something really new. And to be honest, I'm not a very big fan of 3D animation, especially in anime because of the bad usage of CG, but still I am all for new stuff. And initially the news really excited me because 3D anime is not really common, and with the popularity of Genshin Impact, I'm sure that you have heard the name of this particular game. I thought that maybe 3D anime is finally coming up on the horizon, but this is not it. This is really not it. The entire trailer, it looks just horrible. Obviously, I didn't have any context for the things that were showing up here. It looked very generic to me, like there's this girl who is just fighting and it looks like a good guy versus bad guy, and there are these Halo soldier like beings which are just firing at each other, and it looks very generic. It just reminds me of the 90s, like good soldier versus bad soldier. You get my point. It's very generic looking. Now generally I don't really say that a particular show or a particular series or a particular movie is bad in any respect, with the obvious exception of Dragon Ball Evolution. That shit is just crap. But barring that, I really don't think I've said that a particular show is inherently bad. Yeah, some shows are not just my cup of tea, so I just leave them. Recently I started watching Hitoribochi. It's a pretty fun little show and I liked a couple of moments here and there, but the overall plot was just not my cup of tea, so I just left it. It's not bad in any way. There are some really good moments here and there, the characters look good, but it was just not my cup of tea. I'd rather prefer K-On! Or something like Snafu in comparison to this particular series. It's just my personal taste. I'm not saying that it's bad or anything. But this trailer on the other hand, it is genuinely looking crap. I have no other words to defend this thing. It's just looking so crap and generic, to be honest. So of course, to get a better understanding of all of this, your boy did a little Google search and that actually landed me to the wiki page of the manga series called X-Arm. Yes, this anime is actually adapted from a manga series called X-Arm. That hyphen is actually missing on the anime series. I don't know why. Is this a stylistic choice? Is this... I just don't know. I don't know the reasoning for that. And you might be asking why the hyphen is important. Because hey, remember the words of Spider-Man. The hyphen is always important. But either way, jokes apart, let's talk about the manga for a bit. So this series, that is X-Arm, is actually a Japanese science fiction manga series written by Hyrock and illustrated by Shinya Komi. This series is actually a remake of Komi's earlier work called X Vita, and it was published on Shonen Jump in December 2017 and it finished in June 2019. Now, the artwork or the cover for this is pretty interesting. It kind of reminds me of Ghost in the Shell, but the artwork is 10,000 times better than the anime or the trailer for this anime. So obviously I checked out the manga. I read the first couple of chapters. I think I read till chapter 4. It's not inherently the best thing I've ever read, but it's not bad as a whole. And to be honest, I was kind of speechless. Like the first chapter I started reading, after the first cover page, it was this. Yeah, obviously this will be censored because otherwise YouTube will just demonetize this entire video and I can't afford to have that. So that's why that particular scene is censored. But yeah, as you can see, the very second page of this manga contains a lot of explicit stuff. Let's just say it to be explicit stuff. But either way, the artwork is actually pretty good. It's not bad in any sense, and even the story is kind of interesting. It's not something totally new or anything, but it's not a bad thing either. And after reading the first couple of chapters, I can say with 100% guarantee that this trailer is absolutely crap. I can't say if the anime will be good or bad, but this particular trailer is outright horrible. Even I could have made a better trailer. I'm not talking about the animation department, but just the story of the trailer. You see, a trailer is supposed to be the mirror for the series. Obviously, these days, a lot of anime, a lot of shows are doing these clickbaity stuff with clickbaity or misleading titles and misleading trailers. Misleading titles like Bunny Girl Senpai, it was totally misleading, it was totally not what the show intended with the title. And similarly, there are a lot of anime which had misleading trailers, and this is not something new. If you go back to the trailer of something old, say something like Whisper of the Heart, a movie which I really love a lot, possibly one of my top 10 favorite movies of all time. But yeah, the trailer was totally different from the actual movie. It was totally different and you could say misleading in a way. So that might be the case here, I can't say for sure, but this particular trailer is really bad. Now, a trailer is supposed to depict the best parts of the series. Also, most of the time, a trailer will have the best animation because it is supposed to catch the appeal of the reader or the viewer. In that sense, the trailer will have the most polished animation or something like that. But here, it's just not looking good at all. The characters are looking stiffy, and even the CG. I mean, yeah, I understand that CG is not implemented in the best manner in anime, but this is just downright horrible. Like the character movements and the body movements or body parts, they are not even moving naturally. It's looking really disorienting to some extent. Okay, now I'll give a very good example here. Remember that old TV show called MTV Spider-Man? I think it aired around 2001 or 2002. I was pretty young that time, so I can't remember the name of that series, but I think it was MTV Spider-Man. It had that 2.3D cell animation. Now that particular series was not bad or anything. I still have some childhood nostalgia from that series. I do agree with that. But just remember the worst parts or worst animation stuff from that particular show. Pick that up, place that here, and done. That's the trailer. And even without shitting upon the trailer, I can say that it was horribly implemented. Like, okay, now let's get into the plot of this series. Obviously, from here on, there will be spoilers. So you have been warned if you are intending to check out the anime or the manga anytime soon. So the plot is pretty interesting. It's not something totally out of the box, but it's definitely interesting. We have a high school student from 2014 called Akira. Now, in the very first chapter of the series, he's isekai'd. Or no, it's not right to say that he's isekai'd, but yeah, definitely the plot of isekai comes up here because he is hit by Truck-kun. Yeah, everyone's favorite Truck-kun is here. I mean, even if the trailer portrayed Truck-kun in any way or form, that would have been 100% better in my opinion. But basically, Truck-kun hits a guy, Akira, and he wakes up after 16 years or something, and in that particular incident, in that particular accident, his body has been damaged beyond anything, and now 16 years later, his brain has been preserved and it has been uploaded into some sort of an AI machine. And there's an entire plot of a military organization like a police officer called Minami, who is aided by an android robot called Arma or Alma, whichever you want to prefer. And that's the entire plot of the series. And there's also the stuff with a super weapon called X-Arm, and there's a lot of shenanigans here and there going on. But all of this, like even if the trailer portrayed some of the stuff in regards to Akira or Truck-kun or like the entire AI stuff, then it would have been a lot better. But here it's just good guy fighting against bad guy, and this Halo looking soldiers, they are just fighting against some metal bots basically, like Power Rangers buddies, you know. And that's it, that's pretty much it. There's no mention of the AI stuff, there's no mention of the android Alma. Like, I guess this character is Alma, but it's not looking like she's an android here at all. It's just that she's fighting these bad guys. It would have been a lot better if more elements or more of the science fiction stuff was shown here, rather than it just being good guy versus bad guy. You know, now that I'm thinking about it, this particular trailer is actually reminding me of those YouTube ads we get these days, like those Chrome based clickbaity games. If you have seen those ads, then I think you know what I'm talking about. But that's pretty much it. Also, surfing on Twitter, I came across something pretty interesting which I'd like to share with you guys here. So I came across this thread by the Twitter user Kaneba Show. He had actually talked about this on Anime Expo during September 2020, and there's some pretty interesting details here and there. Now the biggest thing is that the studio which is doing or making this anime, they have never worked on an anime before. This is their first attempt. And the director is actually a live action director, and they thought that bringing a live action director would be the best course of action for a 3D anime. Okay, I understand the logic to some extent, it's not totally illogical, but still it's kinda hard to digest. Like, even if one employee was there who had made or had some experience with anime, then it would have been better in my opinion. I guess there are some stuff with motion capture in order to bring out the realism or stuff like that, but 3D animation is a totally different monster. Even big studios are not able to properly do it. Remember Dragon Ball Super Broly? Even a studio as big as Toei Animation struggled a lot with the CG and 3D stuff. So here, for someone who is a total newcomer, a newbie who has not made anything upon anime, it would be a very huge task. I don't know what were the motivations behind Crunchyroll doing something like this, but I'm just not sold at all. This is not a rant or anything. I'm not shitting on the director or anything. I guess he's pretty much a capable guy, but it's just mismanagement at this point, like putting in the wrong people at the wrong place, in my opinion. I guess that's the thing which is going on here, because this particular trailer is an indication of things not going good. I'd not be surprised if this series is actually delayed. It's supposed to come out in January of 2021, but I'm pretty sure that this series will eventually be delayed, or maybe for more work, other studios would be brought in, or more people will be brought in eventually. Because I don't know, again I'm going back to the same thing, this trailer doesn't look good. And see, I am just a layman, I'm just a fan, I'm just a guy who just likes to watch anime. I do not have in-depth knowledge about animation or the techniques involved here. Someone like Anime AJ will probably be able to dissect the trailer more properly, and I guess people like them will be able to tell what is exactly the problem with the animation department. Like, even as a layman, I can see that the smoke and all is not looking good. Like, it just looks like they have put on layers upon layers without considering the lighting or stuff like that. Overall, it looks very stiffy and it's just not looking good. Like, a trailer is supposed to catch the attention of the audience, but this is catching the attention of the audience for all the wrong ways. Personally, I'm not at all sold on this anime. I don't know who will actually be sold on it, but I think this is a discredit to the manga. I know the manga is not the best thing ever, but it has some decent art, guys. Like, if you check it out yourself, barring the fan service and everything, it does have decent art. And I don't think this was the best possible implementation for this particular manga. Also, what the hell is this? Declaring war against all of the SF series around the world. SF, I guess, stands for science fiction. And seriously guys, with this level of animation and everything, you are declaring war against the entire science fiction genre. Gotta give it to you for your over enthusiasm and over excitement and overconfidence. Round of applause. Honestly, round of applause. Like, I have no words to defend or say something against this. Shit, this is just messed up. This is just messed up. But these were some of my unscripted thoughts upon all of this. I don't know about you guys, but I'm totally not a fan of this particular trailer. And at this moment, I'm just wondering what the hell did Crunchyroll even think about doing all of this? Like, what were the motivations behind this? What were the meetings or decisions taken before this? I'm just at a loss of words currently. But this is it for today, guys. What are your thoughts upon all of this? Please mention them in the comment section below. Is this a new upcoming dumpster fire for y'all, or do you have some different thoughts about it? But that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you like it, share it with your friends and subscribe to the channel for more. This is WonderYZ and I'll see you soon in the next video.